Hey everyone, I'm Neal Katyal, and this is The New Normal, a digital salon where we talk about life in the age of COVID-19. And today we're talking about something we're all dealing with for the foreseeable future, social distancing. And we've got two amazing people to talk about this with. First up is Dr. Katie Coleman. I've seen a lot of resumes in my life. I've never seen something as impressive as this woman's. To start, she's got a PhD in chemistry and polymer science. I'm not quite sure even what polymer science is. She was a U.S. Air Force officer, but more importantly, she was an astronaut. 2 different tours on the space shuttle, 159 days total logged in space. And to add all that, she's also got a band where she plays the flute. She's played with Jethro Tull. Okay, that's guest one. And the second is former Associate Director in the White House Office of Public Engagement, the actor, writer, and producer, you all know and love him, Kal Penn. You've seen him in House, Designated Survivor, Namesake, my favorite. But you've also seen him in Harold and Kumar and stuff like that. And I had the privilege of working with him a little bit in the government. And he is a very publicly minded man. And just one illustration of that, when I was doing the Muslim ban case in suing President Trump, he was one of the few public figures who took a real stand and stood up for refugees and raised money and lent his voice to that cause. So it's great to have both of you here. And first of all, I just want to ask how both of you are doing. It's been a tough time for a lot of people. And how have you two been staying safe and healthy?
I'm in Western Massachusetts, about 2 hours west of Boston. And it's basically in the middle of beautiful country. And I'm somebody who travels like all the time in my work life. And so to be home for this period of time in some ways is just amazingly precious for me. It's my husband, our 19-year-old, who is home from American University and working hard on doing his classes. And then we have a stepson about 2 hours away in Albany, and everybody is safe. And it's interesting the conversations that we've ended up having. It's an interesting time.
I would say almost the same, where I feel very privileged because I am healthy. When I'm not shooting something, I work from home anyway. I'm here in the middle of New York City. I'm just a few blocks from where the Comfort has docked. So really people all around us are really suffering quite a bit. And that's something I'm obviously mindful of every day. And at the same time, feel very lucky that, Katie, it sounds like sort of like you and Neal. I know you travel a lot. Just given the types of jobs that we have, I'm on a plane every other week. The majority of Americans don't do that for their jobs, and a lot of them are working paycheck to paycheck. And so it's that back and forth between you both have skills that I think are actually transportable. I'm sitting here going, I'm an actor. What can I do to help right now? But personally, it is, Katie, to your point, being able to take that time and sometimes it's just working on things that I had been putting off that I'm able to get done. I know not everybody responds to social isolation that way, and that's fine. That's okay too, obviously. But for me, yeah, it's given me a chance to really kind of be a little more calm and reflective about where things are in ways that I had kind of been putting off.
Yeah, I think that part of what's going on, particularly among young people, but more generally, is people are really, they don't even know how to social distance. I mean, we're in a society in which, we obviously, get packed in rooms together, whether it's classrooms or concerts or whatever. And you're really kind of someone who's lived a very, very different experience. I mean, not just the 2 space shuttle missions, but also the 6 months you spent on the International Space Station, which has got to be the most extreme form of social distancing imaginable, away from all your friends and family. How'd you do that? And it sounds so hard.
I've had a commuting marriage we were apart for 26 years between Houston and Hartford and DC and Hartford. That's the airports anyway. And as if it wasn't a real thing, where for us, this was real. This is real. And we have a family and it's normal for us. You asked me, Neal, about what it was like to live up there. And people feel bad for us that we're in some kind of like small little tiny place, but actually the space station is this huge place. And if you look at it on a football field, I mean, from goalpost to goalpost, that's where the big solar arrays and all that stuff is outside. But along the 50-yard line, those are the modules, or almost like 10 train cars all connected together. So we actually have a lot of space for 6 people, and you can easily, we sort of sleep at either end, 2 people at one end and 4 at the other, just the way the lodging worked out, so to speak. You can easily have your time alone. And in some of my, I had some adventures outside in training that helped me get ready to do this. This shows you the space station just out in space, and actually how close we are to the Earth, about 250 miles above the Earth. It's close, but far, but close.
Cal, you said that you were a space aficionado, and that's something you care a lot about. And indeed, I think you even have a tattoo of the Voyager is on your forearm.
So I have Voyager tattoos. They're not of the Voyager, but it's stuff from the Golden Record and then images that are on the record itself.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say space aficionado, because then people ask me astronomy questions and I really have no idea about the answers. So I use space nerd more, because that gives me the chance to ask more questions. Went to space camp as a little kid, had the chance to go, I think I was in 6th grade, had the chance to go for a week. I always found concepts in physics especially really exciting and interesting, and I was never very good at them. So, for example, I was the annoying 10th grader who, when we studied time dilation in my physics class, would ask a million questions about practical applications. And, it's a 10th grade physics teacher who really wants you to pass the test. And so I would just be that annoying kid who's like, but give me 10 more examples. And she's like, you just need to memorize the formula, which you don't even know yet. So it was a lot of that back and forth. But my interest in it and my passion for it never went away. And so, yeah, I just, I love it. I'm a big astro nerd.
I love that you described that about physics, because I think that it actually comes back to understanding our situation today. I tell people that, I'm a chemist originally, and I have a certain sense for chemistry, and I really love chemistry, but physics is totally hard for me. And there I was in advanced physics, and the teacher, there was like 6 of us. I'm like too old for space camp, so older than you guys. But, the teacher goes, okay, so we're all set with chapters 1 through 4, right? And the other 5 guys are like, yeah, fine. I go, Mr. Van Meter, in chapter 2, because it's not instinctive for me. And yet, look at what I do. Does that mean physics isn't for me? But it's, it's my right to ask for more explanations, not necessarily from Mr. Van Meter, but we all need these things. And one of the things that I think that makes today's crisis so difficult is that it's hard to understand what we're reading. It's hard to understand the science behind how different could this be. And I know that I read things and then I send them to my, more informed chemistry, biology friends saying, is this true? Do you think of it this way? So it all comes back to that scientific literacy, and hopefully this will help us realize we need to solve it, and that being able to tell those stories is really important.